The policy team developed a points-based eligibility scheme whereby points are awarded or subtracted for income, savings and number of children. Other basic criteria include immigration status, tenancy length, tenancy record and age. In addition, the policy team also designed a mechanism to calculate the discount that each eligible household will be entitled to. The discount will be a factor of income, savings, number of children and number of years in the property. It is intended that the discount be capped at a certain amount or proportion of the house valuation. This is a scheme that will potentially grant some tenants 5 and possibly 6-figure subsidies to buy their home at a time when there are dozens waiting for plots and struggling to buy on the open market. There must be checks and balances to ensure that the system is not gamed and that it benefits only those who it intends to benefit. This is especially critical as the scheme will not be underpinned by legislation, as is the case elsewhere. The complexity of the system and the amount of work that has gone into it reflects the consequences of getting it wrong. There is no quick and easy way of achieving all the original policy objectives in a transparent and fair manner. At the time of writing this reply to the question, only 2 members had responded to officers' request for policy direction. There is, therefore, no clear way for officers to proceed. Until clear policy direction is provided from members, it will not be possible to confirm a timeline for delivery of the scheme as it was originally envisioned.
Moving forwards, I think we, as politicians, need to decide, do we want to do this or not? Do we want to free up the capital that's tied up in those houses to long-term tenants, to build further housing for more tenants? And I think there's been a lack of clarity and a lack of pushing this particular issue forwards from everybody, as is shown by the lack of replies to the questions posed. And I think we need to either push to move this forwards or scrap it completely.
It is far more complex than I think perhaps we envisaged when we asked for that piece of work to be done. I absolutely want to see a right to buy scheme implemented. That's been something that we discussed in the last assembly and has taken some time to come through because of other priorities, but I do want to see it happen. But what I don't want to see happen is us to just go forward with a let's just do something approach, which then has the potential to create a lot of issues for people that we are actually trying to help.
Policy aims for me are quite straightforward. So it's to promote home ownership for low-income social tenants by providing a transitional route. It's to provide some extra income into investing into future housing development, understanding that the sale of one house is only going to be a small percentage of the replacement property into the local pool, but it is another house, or ultimately, you know, the investment into the extra house will be one more house in the pool. And to reduce FRG's burden of maintenance of expensive properties which we're maintaining, and hopefully put that on the homeowner, so that you transfer that sort of maintenance aspect. And those were the aims I was trying to do. But I don't believe they're the same aims as everyone else. So until we actually decide what those aims are, it's, and you know, it's quite simple really. I think everyone just needs to sit down and answer the questions that they were asked over a month ago.
Yes, I actually went to go have another meeting with the policy unit about this because I was really desperate to try and find some kind of elegant solution that would try and make this simple. And unfortunately, it is something that they themselves still can't work through, and they've got far better brains than us on this issue. But you know, working through these problems is something I completely agree that has to be done. But let's not fool ourselves either. This piece of work is not going to solve any of our broader housing issues, which still are about availability of land, availability of people to develop that land, and you know, supply. It's all supply based. It's something that we've got to have to work on. And as part of that, as has been raised in this House several times, not least by myself, but I know by my other colleagues, affordability, which is something we do have to take seriously, as well as tenants' rights. And I would throw some of those questions back, because I know that these are things that are probably more pressing across the housing market of the Falkland Islands to deal with. And I wouldn't like to see those pieces of work also take a hit by just prioritising this one.